Good morning and welcome to the Chef's Table. Today, we are going to feed ourselves. And in doing this, we're also going to feed others. So the topic today, because this is something I keep hearing, and I had to learn this lesson the hard way. I'm not going to lie. There were moments I said these same two sentences over and over again. And then I got some coaching and some mentorship, and I started diving into this. And I realized these two sentences are probably the most destructive any one of us as an entrepreneur can say in building our business. See, when we start learning at the beginning of this journey, we are like sponges. We can't wait to get all this new information in. We can't wait to hear new things and learn new things. And we're like little squirrels. We just can't get enough of learning this world of internet marketing, right? This world of online marketing. It has so many fun facets, and there's so many things we didn't know that as we learn them, we become like these super sponges, and we just want to absorb it all in, which is phenomenal because it's what we want to do, right? It's like we're thirsty and we found the well and we can't stop drinking. Now, what ends up happening at some point, including for myself, what happens is, so here, I'll just share with you what happened. So what happened was, I remember going to a convention and I was sitting there doing my presentation. And after the presentation, I was walking through the hallway. There was a lot of people in session, and I had somebody come up to me and says, "Oh my gosh, did you know that Twitter is the fastest way to be building your business? Like, the lead generation is off the hook. You can totally do this." And in the back of my mind, I thought to myself, yeah, I knew that already. That was like 3 years ago. I knew that you could do that with Twitter. But see, the thing is that it was so new to him, but it was old to me. And there's something inside of that I want you guys to get, because here's what I've discovered over the years. In the 14 years that I've been marketing, in the last several years that I've been teaching, the two biggest sentences that can hurt your business. The first one, and I'm going to dive into this one, is I've heard this all before. Though the one thing that will literally stop your business, halt your business in place, is you saying, "Oh, I heard this all before," and dismissing it, completely kicking it to the curb, saying, "Okay, well, I've heard this. There's nothing new that I'm going to hear inside this conversation," right? I can't tell you how many times I did that. And by doing that, I actually started hurting my business because I stopped listening to the new pieces. I stopped being on the lookout for the nugget of gold that was found inside of a newbie sharing this information or a leader sharing this information. Many times, what we tend to do is like, "Oh, I already know that. I don't need to learn that again." I mean, what's the point? But it's hearing it or learning it from somebody else. Every single one of us has a different outlook and perspective of how we build and market online. So when you start saying to yourself, "I already know this," you've stopped learning. You've stopped letting people pour into you. You've stopped letting your mentors and your authors and the people that love you, that want to see you succeed, you've stopped letting them contribute to you because you keep telling them, "I already know this." If you already know this, then why aren't you at the success level that you want to be? If you already know this, why doesn't your life look like that to you? Does it look like the way you want it to look? Are you in the place financially? Are you in the place where you want to be because of the fact that you already know this? Have you implemented it in such a way that people now come to you to learn how you did it? See, I got stuck and I already know this, and I had to give it up. I literally had to give it up. I had to give up thinking to myself, "I already know this," and get present and sit there and listen to see if there was something new that I was hearing. See, I was in a different place in my business. So while I might already know this, that's my past speaking. That's a past marketer that was in a totally different place than where I am now. There's something always to be learning, even if you've already heard it before. So be present to the information, the training you're getting. The moment you discount it or go off to do something else or think, "I don't need to hear this," is the moment you're going to miss out on probably one of the biggest golden nuggets that can transform and move your business forward. It is so key to give up that mentality. The other one I hear a lot too inside of that is, I've heard this all before. That's great for beginners, but I'm way more advanced than that. Wow. That is another lie that we tell ourselves. That is another thing that's detrimental to us as business owners, because here's what you have to know in the world of digital marketing. There are more beginners in the world of digital marketing than there are intermediate and advanced marketers. See, we don't stick around long enough, majority of us, to learn the skills that had advanced, or, someone that's achieved what you wanted to achieve. They've worked their butt off to get there. And what I've learned over the years is that the person I'm teaching is always the beginner. I'm always going back to the beginning. See, as a chef, no matter how fancy the kitchen got, no matter how many stars or diamonds were on that door, no matter how amazing the food was, you know what built that kitchen? It was mastering the basics. Every day I walked into that kitchen, I was a beginner. I was a beginner that was open to learning the basics of improving my basic skill set. It's not the advanced skill set you need to master. It's doing the basics over and over and over again until you get to the point where it's just ingrained in you to do that basic. And then people will look at you and go, you've mastered this. But your mastery is the basics. It's the beginning steps. There's no way to build an incredible meal without at least learning how to hold a knife. If I don't hold a knife, how am I able to create extraordinary meals? If I don't know how to turn on an oven or light a fire, how can I cook you your meals? See, but these are basic steps that we think we overlook. Like, oh, I don't need to learn that. That's for beginners. Our whole journey is beginners. Our whole purpose of being online, of teaching, of marketing, of pouring into others is to pour into them as if they're a beginner. Every time I work with my students, they're a beginner. It doesn't matter how advanced they think they are. What they're learning is the basics, the mastering of the beginning of the basic steps. See, I'm doing a challenge right now, and I hear this quite a bit. Everybody goes, oh, this is great information, but it's definitely for beginners. You're missing what's possible in being part of that. See, we're all beginners. I shared yesterday inside my training. See, we're always following to become the leader, but we have to be willing to follow first. We have to be willing to be that beginner over and over again, such that that skill set becomes our mastery, such that we can show people what's possible. It breaks my heart every one time I hear it now when someone says, I already know that. Or when somebody says, well, that's great, but that's for beginners. I'm way more advanced than that. It breaks my heart, because what I'm hearing is that you've given up, or you don't care, or that you don't see for yourself just how powerful this training is going to be. See, sometimes we have to go back to being a beginner. We have to go back to what it's like to learn this from the start. Because if we're really out there to help, support, and teach people, we have to remember what that journey's been like for us. We have to remember what it's like to be in those trenches. See, so many of us have been on stages and leaders, and I know I've got a huge crowd that I'm surrounded by that's taken the stage, that's done incredible things. But we're not there for us to do incredible things. We're there for that person in the audience. We train to beginners all the time. I'm not teaching you the most advanced strategy. I'm teaching you the basic strategy, because the basic strategy will produce the result. The Chef's Table is about pouring into you. And I want you to always be a student first. I want you to first recognize that you will always be being poured into, right? The journey of being an entrepreneur, the success level isn't the top. What you think or perceive as success for many of us we're still at the beginning. If you asked me, I've been doing this for 14 years. You want to know where I think I'm at? The beginning. I'm still learning. I'm still growing. So perceptions are 9/10 of people's reality, but there's also over here with us what we're developing and learning as. And I've always said that if you want to help the next person up, learn the beginning basics. Recommend the beginning basics. Watch people explore this world of being a beginner. So it's going to remind you why you got into this in the first place. What has you be wanting to make an impact, make a difference, and change people's lives? You know, I'm blessed that 7 years ago, I retired from the corporate kitchen at Walt Disney, and I stepped into the world of digital marketing, and I met some incredible mentors over the last several years. I've been part of digital marketing companies that have impacted tens of thousands of network marketers. I have the privilege of teaching and training on stages all around the world, but that's such a small nugget because I want to continue to develop and train people. This is just a journey, and we're all beginners throughout the journey over and over and over again. We're not on this journey as masters, and even the masters will tell you, I am a student and a student first. So be open, because if you're telling people, I already heard this, then you need to be there to hear it again. If you're telling people this is great for beginners, but I'm more advanced than this, then you really need to go back and be part of this and see and get yourself immersed in that culture. Watch people's reaction to that beginning and see if there's a nugget in there for you so that you can share it and you can pour into others. Because the world of being an online digital marketeer is all about being someone that's willing and open to learning, which is why we talk about self-development, which is why we recommend books, which is why we talk about courses. This is your world. Welcome to this. So I invite you, if you're saying to yourself any one of these things, look at it from the perspective of, how can I be that beginner? What is there newly for me to hear that I might not have heard before? And you'll be surprised when you give that up, how different your business starts to look. So thank you guys so much for joining me here at the Chef's Table. I come to you live every morning, 8:30 Eastern Standard Time, Monday through Friday. If you guys want to follow me more, get some more information and tips, head over to my blog, thechefkatrina.com. I'd love to share with you more in-depth training around these topics that I go through every Chef's Table, and give you an opportunity to join me and become one of my digital marketeers as I share with you how to change the world one day at a time. With that, everybody, have a great day, and we'll talk very soon. Oh, if I could find the end button, this would be great. Ha!